And now, welcome to a special speaker from our naming sponsor, Nedbank. Nthabiseng Matshekga is the Executive Head Group Marketing at Nedbank. Before Nedbank, Nthabi's career saw in a variety of management and strategic positions with some of the most recognizable local and international brands. Nthabi's lockdown insight to me is that flexible work practice ignites real-life connection in the home with so many amazing possibilities. And Nthabi, I agree. It's been a tough experience, but amazing. The topic today is unearthing the true value of purpose-led marketing. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Pepe. And let's get into it. So, when I was growing up, I used to think that my grandmother had green fingers because she was always in the garden, planting, watering, digging, you name it, she did it all. And as a young girl, I would actually join her. And she taught me how to pot and soil. She taught me how to know which plants like the shade or the sun. And what she'd always say is that it's very important that you keep your garden healthy. And when it came to keeping a garden healthy, the one thing she would always harp on about is that you need to remove the problems, which are the weeds in the garden. And that if you just remove them on the surface, they would fester and quickly grow back again. So you always needed to ensure that you're actually removing them in their entirety from the root. And it's funny how sometimes you learn something as a child, and its true meaning only really comes to life much later in your life. And I've seen that there's a big correlation between my grandmother's gardening stories as well as the issues that big business chooses to tackle in the communities that they operate in. And more importantly, there's a big correlation between my grandmother's gardening story and unearthing the true value of purpose-led marketing. So purpose-led marketing, for the most part, what we're going to talk about today is not CSI or even cause marketing. What we are going to talk about is brands and businesses who have bothered and really taken the extra step in terms of cultivating very deep relationships with customers, which they believe that can champion their brands that they believe in and brands that are better for them. So today, we're going to be talking a lot about using your purpose to be able to communicate meaningfully, particularly even in situations like we're having now, in a situation of crisis. And very importantly, using purpose-led marketing to be able to define what you do as a brand, as an organization, much more than beyond what you do and how you make money. And to do this, I'm going to show you some examples from a brand that I obviously personally live and breathe every single day, Nedbank. And the start point of that would be making sure that we're all on point in terms of what Nedbank's purpose actually is. And our purpose at Nedbank is to use our financial expertise to do good for individuals, for families, for businesses, as well as society. And where money is concerned, if you drew a parallel to my grandmother's story, the weeds or the problems that you see on the surface as far as South Africa is concerned would look something like this. That more than 80% of small businesses fail because of bad cash flow management. Secondly, that 3 out of 5 South Africans spend more than what they earn. And also that 1 in 3 South Africans have actually lost money by investing in pyramid schemes. So these are just glaring statistics, but these are really the surface of those problems or the weeds that we've talked about thus far. And to do that, for us, we needed to take a bold step forward to say, how do we live our purpose to deepen our relationship with customers by making sure that we created the type of marketing that people couldn't watch without putting up a mirror against themselves, and also interrogating their own relationship with money, and really starting to talk about one of the hardest things to talk about, which is money. I'm going to show you a short excerpt which will really show you what the level of marketing work was that we put into this particular campaign titled Secrets.
I'm here to say, look, there's no crisis.
I did not lie. stumbled across this trailer.
A trailer.
Really excited about it. It looks really good.
This thriller
is one to
apparently
watch.
it is amazing.
Peter
This is
Matshekga.
proper Hollywood studio stuff.
It's called...
Please think it'll never happen to you.
Another late night?
Let's get out of here. But it did. I owe money everywhere.
I
think I've lost everything. We're bankrupt.
Two out of 3 South Africans spend more than they earn.
The most powerful way to get South Africans talking about money.
I'm out there breaking my back every day. This is not what I want.
Wow, I didn't expect that. That's the first time a bank's got my attention.
One banking institution has come up with a way to reach consumers and get them to think about how they manage money.
Completely unbranded, and you can imagine that's quite a big, bold step for a bank.
To use the power of cinema to tell or address important social issues, it's a powerful move.
Very eye-opening.
It's an important film for young South Africans to watch.
Now, I still can't watch that without wanting to pull into some sort of a renegade, because one of the most intriguing movies you would have watched last year, if you saw this one, was made by a bank. And more importantly, it really stood out as one of the key pieces of creative work that's not only awarded for creativity, but for its innovation and performance. However, because we are passionate about digging deeper to cultivate those relationships with our customers, we actually even partnered with Dr. Nthabiseng Matshekga, who's a psychologist and financial wellness coach. And if I can just give you an example that, if you imagine that the formative elements of your life, your influences, would shape your attitudes that you have today about love or even swimming in the ocean, it's much the same about understanding the psychology of money and the relationship that you have with money. So we built what we call money archetypes, which literally are patterns of behavior that are evident in groups of people, can be emulated, can be well expressed and visualized to help South Africans really take a step back to just understanding the what, but to understand the why behind how they spend, save, invest their money or not. To give you an example, I'm the carer, and I grew up in challenging circumstances in terms of a lack of wealth. However, I've managed to achieve much success in my life, and that's a fantastic thing. However, if you are somebody like that who carries the guilt of having left others behind, you might end up making up for it with financial assistance. And what doing the Money Archetype quiz has enabled me to do is empower me with skills to be able to come up with creative solutions to empower others, to trust them to be responsible for their own livelihoods, and also be able to still give generously without putting my own family or my own circumstances in jeopardy. But let's look at what the results of purpose-led marketing actually looked like in the Secrets campaign. Firstly, the launch night of this campaign actually outperformed Beyonce and the Lion King, and that's huge, right? This was one of the top 3 most watched local films in South Africa. And of 16% of people who actually visited our site took part in the money quiz. And lastly, it was really well awarded, and we're still waiting for much more accolades than what we've been able to pick up now. But very importantly, the key trick is that we've done a campaign that's linked very clearly to a clear insight that South Africans don't talk about money. Secondly, linked intrinsically to our purpose at Nedbank to say that we understand that when money is really well managed, it can make a whole world of difference. And lastly, using our first-party data in terms of the quiz results, we've been able to not only have a much more targeted approach to remarketing, but to also be able to start building much more relevant solutions and package the right benefits for our clients. And even in COVID reality, where every study tells you that everyone is still worried about money, we were able to pivot this campaign and work with the Nthabiseng Matshekga to give people the relevant advice within an atmosphere of anxiety and distress. Let's have a look at that.
Today, we're going to discuss the emotions that you may be experiencing if your archetype is the penny pincher. For you, this national lockdown would find you very secure compared to other people. Financially, you have been diligent, you've been disciplined, you've been depriving yourself of certain things, certain luxuries, and you've been very regimented in saving money. For people who are around you in the house, it might mean that in you being that structured and that disciplined, you tend to be a bit more task-oriented. And that might mean you actually compromise the opportunity for you to connect with people. If you were gonna focus on where they are wasting food, whether they are wasting juice, whether you're having to buy bread often, it's actually going to alienate the people around you. It's important that you also find alternative ways that are meaningful to them, that show that you care much more about them than about the money. Because during this period, you might be a bit more financially secure. It's an opportunity for you to give. You might want to contribute to a charity. You might want to reach out to a friend and send a message of kindness, of encouragement. You might want to share with your loved ones about the fact that, look, guys, we are okay, this is what we need to do. But also it's an opportunity for you to transfer your skills about discipline when it comes to money. Look at the people in your family. Look at the fact that their personalities, who they are, what their money archetype might be, and then try to find ways that you can transfer the skills of being disciplined around money to them. I'd love for you to use the lockdown period to slow down and be grateful. Try at the end of the day, take out a journal, whether it's your phone or something to write on. Record 3 or 5 things that you are most grateful for. The challenge is, let it be about anything else but money and saving or spending. Like maybe you shared a goal or that you've shared a joke. It's important that you show them that you value them. You might want to be able to offer and contribute to a good cause. Look around you in your neighborhood. There might be elders who are stranded and they don't have anybody there. And none of us knows what lies ahead. But one thing we do know is that no matter what you are feeling, money well managed can make all the difference. In the meantime, take care of yourself, and until next time, goodbye.
We've even challenged ourselves to move beyond storytelling and really start to show people that you can make adjustments in terms of your money habits by using Max and his real life lockdown situation. And you can now come and do your own money archetype quiz by simply logging on to nedbankmoneysecrets.co.za, taking a quiz of predefined questions to be able to find out what your archetype is, and let us help and walk with you through a journey of making sure we harness your financial discipline, your financial bravery, to be able to unlock much more positive money secrets in your life. I mean, just imagine a life where we all regularly interrogated why our organizations and brands exist and really go into that proverbial galactic belly of what our purpose really is, in order for us to be able to make it count at the right moment of truth. And more importantly, with the amounts of massive data that we have at our opportunity and to leverage, we are really able to start using that to make a much more real difference in our clients' lives. For us at Nedbank, purpose-led marketing linked to these core values has helped us not only make our marketing work in 2019, but to be able, with a quick reset and reimagination, make it work even harder in 2020 during the throes of COVID-19. So whatever your North Star or purpose is of your organization, don't just pot and soil and remove what's on the surface. Always dig deeper to really and truly remove those weeds in their entirety.